The Oppo Find X7 Ultra has a stunning design, especially the ocean blue variant. It has a two-tone effect with vegan leather on the lower half and a shiny white part on the upper half. The camera bump is huge, but it has a good reason for being so. The phone is a bit big and heavy, but we don't mind. It fits well in hand thanks to the curved edges, and it feels solid and premium. It also has Gorilla Glass Victus 2 to protect the screen from scratches and drops, an IP68 rating to keep it safe from water and dust. The screen is also impressive. It's a 6.82-inch AMOLED with QHD Plus resolution, so everything is very sharp and clear. It also has a 120 Hz refresh rate, which makes everything feel smooth and fast. And it supports many features like Dolby Vision, HDR10+, Pro XDR, and Ultra HDR, so you can watch movies and play games in stunning quality. The Oppo Find X7 Ultra has 4 main cameras on the back, and they are all amazing. The main camera has 50 megapixel and a huge 1-inch sensor, which is bigger than the sensors in other phones like the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra and iPhone 15 Pro Max. It also has a fast 1.8 aperture, OIS, and a special technology to reduce lens reflections. The second camera is also 50 megapixel, and it's an ultra-wide camera. It has a big 1.95-inch sensor, OIS, and a fast 2.0 aperture, which makes it one of the best ultra-wide cameras you can find right now. But the coolest thing is that the X7 Ultra has 2 periscope cameras, both with 50 megapixel. One of them has 3x zoom, and the other one has 6x zoom. They work together to give you an optical zoom range from 3x to 10x and beyond, up to 120x digital zoom. The 3x periscope camera is especially impressive because it is the biggest sensor ever in a periscope camera. That means it should take better pictures and work better in low light. Overall, the photos look pretty good, and they don't seem to change much in quality or color when switching lenses. Sometimes you couldn't even tell which lens used for each shot. The camera performs superb when it gets dark, and that's when things like fast aperture, big sensors, and OIS matter more. Selfies are amazing. Video recording quality also one of the best in the market right now. Oppo Find X7 Ultra comes with the most powerful processor available, the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. It also has 16 gigabytes of RAM and 512 gigabytes of UFS 4.0 storage, which is more than enough for most people. The phone is very fast and smooth, and it can take pictures without any delay. It can handle any app or game that you want to use as long as you can download it. The Oppo Find X7 Ultra has a 5000 mAh battery, which will last a long time with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3's efficiency and the LTPO screen's adaptability. It comes with 100-watt fast, 50-watt wireless, and 10-watt reverse wireless charge support. Overall, I'm really impressed by this phone. It's a gorgeous phone with a lot of cool features, especially the 4 cameras on the back. I'm looking forward to playing with them more and seeing what they can do. The iPhone 14 Pro Max is one of Apple's top-notch phones. It has a shiny metal frame and a smooth glass back and front. The front glass is super strong and can handle some drops. The phone has speaker and mic grills on the bottom and the lightning port that won't go away. The design is very Apple-like and cool. It can handle dust and water too. The iPhone 14 Pro Max has a big 6.7-inch screen with 120 Hz that looks amazing. It's an OLED screen with a super sharp resolution, and it shows colors really well. The other thing is how bright the screen can get. It can go up to 1000 nits normally, but if you're outside in the sun, it can crank up to 2000 nits. That means you can see everything clearly even on the brightest days. Everything feels bigger and better on the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Playing games, checking Twitter, watching YouTube, browsing the web, you name it. One thing I really dig is the dynamic island. It's a black bar at the top of the screen that replaces the old notch. It sounds silly, but it's actually super cool and makes me wonder what else Apple can do with it. The iPhone 14 Pro Max is a great performer, as you would expect from an iPhone. It has the new A16 Bionic chip, which is faster and more efficient than the previous models. The A16 chip can handle any app or game you want to use, and it also has 6 GB of RAM for smooth multitasking. Apple's cameras have been awesome for a while, and the iPhone 14 Pro Max makes them even better. Apple finally upgraded to a 48 megapixel main camera with a big aperture and sensor shift stabilization. That means you can use it as a 2x zoom lens too. There is also a 12 megapixel telephoto camera for 3x zoom and a 12 megapixel ultra-wide camera. The selfie camera is also 12 megapixel and it can autofocus for the first time on an iPhone. And that's not all. The iPhone 14 Pro Max has a new photonic engine that makes the colors and textures look amazing in low light. The main camera takes stunning photos in any light. The colors are vibrant, the details are sharp, and the blur is natural. The ultra-wide camera is also awesome. It lets you capture more of the scene without losing quality. It doesn't make things look distorted at the edges, which is nice. And the best part is the macro mode. It automatically turns on when you get close to something. The 12 megapixel telephoto camera has been a pleasant surprise. It may not seem as impressive as the 30x and 100x zoom on a Galaxy S22 Ultra, but it works very well. It lets you zoom in 3x and capture your subject with great detail and color. This device has a 4,323 mAh battery. The iPhone 14 Pro Max is a great choice for anyone who loves a big screen. The cameras are amazing, especially for video. You can capture smooth action shots and cinematic effects with ease. The battery life is also impressive, lasting longer than most phones.